Great Scott! 25 million gigawatts of pure trading power!
So you might have seen me using this mystery indicator last week with these mystery percentages and this mystery histogram. Today, I'm going to unravel the mystery. This is a brand new revolutionary indicator that I created called the MMT Fluxometer. Never seen anything like it out there. It's one of the many things that has come to fruition while I've been waiting for the flow stack to get finished. So I've really been enjoying trading with the MMT polarity, trading with imbalances, and I was thinking, how could I take this even further? On some of my old order flow indicators and on the built-in NinjaTrader order flow indicator that you get with the lifetime subscription, they show where the imbalances happen on the footprint chart right at the price. I always found that a little bit too overwhelming, especially on the NQ, just too hard to keep track of as much as the NQ moves, and I didn't really like doing the price aggregation. So I came up with a couple different ways to use imbalance information. The MMT Fluxometer has a built-in order flow tape that's built right into the code. It's working behind the scenes. It's reading these imbalances from the footprint. Then it's taking that information and printing this handy-dandy little histogram, these arrows, and all the percentage numbers. The histogram is very customizable. You can show the imbalance levels for the current bar, or you can show the imbalance levels for the current bar and the previous bar. That's the setting that I've been using the most. You can have it look back as many bars as you like. I'm not going to get too deep into any kind of quote-unquote education. I don't necessarily think that the way that I'm using this indicator is the right way, but I will be showing you the way that I'm using it. I'm sure you could come up with a billion different ways to use imbalances in your own personal trading. The indicator is measuring what it's measuring, and it's up to each individual trader how they want to interpret that data. So this histogram is showing me the biggest buy imbalances and sell imbalances, and the price point where they happened. The stronger the imbalance, the more this histogram line juts out. I'll show you all the settings available later on in the video. You can adjust the minimum imbalance amount, all kinds of different things. And then the percentages above the candles. This is a feature I've never seen anywhere else, just something that came through when I was creating this indicator. This is measuring the percentage of imbalances per candle. So it's not measuring the actual delta, it's measuring just the imbalances. So if there's 80% bullish imbalances, we get an 80%. If there's 71% bearish imbalances on this candle, we get a 71%. And within the indicator settings, there's a custom threshold amount. And if the percentage of imbalances exceeds that custom threshold amount, you can have it print an arrow. And these will fire off live in real time intrabar. I've been using this indicator on a 1-minute chart and also a 5-minute chart. I'm getting different kinds of information on the 1-minute chart versus the 5-minute chart, different things that I'm looking for. I'm going to be making a lot more videos showing exactly how I'm trading this in live market conditions in the future, so stay tuned for that. I've been using this indicator in conjunction with the flow stack and also the ultimate POC, and I'll talk more later on about how I'm using the ultimate POC in conjunction with this histogram. So let's have a look under the hood at the MMT Fluxometer. Here's the colors for the histogram. The imbalance percentage signals, these are the arrows that appear if the percentage exceeds a custom threshold. Right now I've got the custom threshold set to 69%. This is just a random number I threw in there. I really have not even been using the arrow signals in my own personal trading. You could set this much lower and get a lot more signals. You can choose the arrow colors, the arrow offset. Percentage of imbalances. This is the percentage number that's printed above the candles. You can choose the color for bullish, bearish, and neutral. You can choose the offset for the number. You can have this number print below the candle by clicking on this toggle. Otherwise, default settings, it prints above the candle. And in the parameters section, you can choose the imbalance amount. I know a popular setting is 1.5. I'm using 2. I'm filtering out smaller imbalances. I want slightly stronger imbalances, so I've got a number 2 in here. If you bump this number up to a 3, that would mean there needs to be an even stronger imbalance for it to be taken into consideration for the histogram, for the percentages. The look back bars, I've got this set as 1. So it's taking into consideration 1 bar ago and also the current bar. If I change this to a 0, it's just going to print the imbalances for the current bar, nothing else. You could also have it look back 5 bars, 10 bars, 100 bars, whatever you like. But default settings is 1 look back bar. Histogram max width. That's how far this will jut out to the left. If you want to see a bigger histogram, just bump this number up. Histogram line thickness. You can adjust this to your visual liking, as well as the opacity. And that's it. Some very powerful calculations within a very simplified layout. So I've got some playback data loaded. Try to give you some more examples of how I use this in live action. I've got the Fluxometer histogram on the 5-minute here. So this histogram is measuring the current 5-minute candle and the previous 5-minute candle. You see this range of these two 5-minute candles. And then on the 1-minute chart, I've got the Fluxometer histogram and the percentages. So this is measuring the current 1-minute candle and the previous 1-minute candle. So if the market wasn't just about to open, I'd be looking at all these imbalances down here in this wick. Point of control down this wick, I'd be like, wow, looking for a bounce trade unless it breaks lower. If it breaks lower below these mega imbalances, watch out below. Definitely looking for a short. So we'll see what happens here at the New York Open. Got a strong percentage coming in there. So here we got a big imbalance up here at the top. And now it's breaking lower below all those lower imbalances. So we got a potential trap trader. And we broke below that level of mega imbalances. We got a nice little drop there right away. Got my eye on the 5-minute. We got this big imbalance up in this wick here. That could be some trapped buyers up there. We're just pushing lower. So now if I'm looking for some kind of bounce trade, you know, I want to see some imbalances down towards the bottom, or if there's a wick forming, I want the imbalances in the wick. But most of the time I'm waiting closer until the candle closes. This is the 5-minute chart, so we still have 4 minutes to go on the 1-minute chart. And we still have this big imbalance up here. So I'm thinking that might be the trap trader there. We just had a strong percentage close, 84%. Now we're pushing a little bit lower. We just hit the yesterday's point of control area. More imbalances. So if we do start wicking up here, still got this big imbalance down here at the bottom, and we still have a decent wick unless we start heading down further south here. Looking at this big buy imbalance here, if we can break above that. So I'm going to put a buy order right above this buy imbalance. If it holds and we drop, no big deal. If it breaks, I'm looking for it to retest this next key level here. Got a 10-point fill pretty much instantaneously there. So this was definitely a big clue. Just really stood out. Biggest imbalance out of the last two 5-minute candles. Then we had this pretty big wick on this 5-minute candle. And we just popped up over 30 points after the close of this 5-minute candle. Instantly went pretty bullish. We got a big imbalance here. By the time that candle closed, the wick was gone. We broke above this bullish imbalance, so I'd be looking for longs. So I'm trying to wait until the candle is getting close to closing. If the point of control is up into the wick and we've got a big imbalance, you know, I'm looking for a short. Unless that area breaks, then I'm looking for longs. And by the time this candle closed, that wick wasn't even there. So definitely waiting towards the end of the candle before I'm getting into most of these trades. So we had a 92% on this candle. 92% of all imbalances were bullish. So even though I have point of control up into this wick, it's a tiny wick, and the body is definitely more full-bodied to the upside. That's a really strong percentage there. Nice strong close above VWAP. Next candle we just took off. This thing's showing no sign of letting up. 93% bullish imbalances here. So another way I might want to use this if I'm looking to get into a long, I've got this area at 45 with a very big buy imbalance. So if we were to pull back into this area, might look to buy right there, and also at 30. But if it broke these two areas, definitely want to get out. I mean, that's bearish. Point of control up into the wick, 58% bearish. Pretty big imbalance signal up in the wick. So just remembering this area down here where I said I might buy at 45, might actually move my take profit up a little bit. And actually, if we break above this buy imbalance here, might be looking for a long actually. So I'm going to move my stop right above these buy imbalances here. They are up into the wick of this candle, so could be trapped. All right, 45 to 30, that was the area I was looking to buy before. I'm going to give it a whirl based on what I saw on the 1 minute a few candles back. We had that strong area of buying 45 to 30. So now we've got these big sell imbalances down in this wick here. I'm going to go long, put my stop below these sell imbalances. Our 5 minute candle closed with 70%, pretty good. This candle wicked right off of the 250 SMA. We had bullish percentages of imbalances on this candle. Point of control up into the wicks here. See if we can stay below this sell imbalance here. Look at all these imbalances up here, still up in these wicks. As long as we don't break higher, all good. Another wick forming. Look at all these imbalances up here still. We're getting more sell imbalances coming in as we're moving lower here. A lot down in this wick. We'll see how the candle finishes. Okay, we're about to close. Point control down to the wick. Look at all these imbalances down here in the wick. Gonna move my stop up. Instantly got our 10 points there. I waited right until this candle was about to close. I noticed point of control in the wick, and I noticed all these imbalances stuck down in the wick. Just looking for a quick pop up there. Now we've got some bigger imbalances up in these wicks. We've had negative percentage for a while now. So if we stay below this area, could be a nice short. If we break above, could be a nice long. Looking at the 5 minute, got a big old imbalance up here in all these wicks. So this could be a sign of some trap traders. I'm kind of favoring the shorts at the moment. That candle's about to close, going short. Can put my stop right above these imbalances up here. We had point of control up into the wick there. Still have a big imbalance up in the wick. Could be someone that's trapped. So I'm looking for a move down. All right, might get fucked on that one. All right, now we got our imbalances moving down to the wicks down here. Still got some time left on this candle. Trade worked out. We went bearish on the percentage. Filled that wick. That big imbalance that was up in the wicks got overpowered by this imbalance. So if we can break below this area, it's going to be very bearish. If this area holds and we start wicking, it's going to be bullish. So you can see that area held. We got this big imbalance down here, the bottom of these candles. Trap traders, nice pop up. So those are some examples of how I'm using this. It's just random stuff that I've been noticing in my own personal trading. This is not financial advice. I'm sure you can find some even better ways to use this data from the imbalances, but I just wanted to share some more ideas and examples of how I'm using this in my own personal trading. So an infinite amount of ways that you could use this. If you want a deeper dive into the world of imbalances, I highly suggest seeking out some more videos on YouTube. If you want to learn more about imbalances in order flow and potential ways to trade them. I've just been creating my own tools with unique visions on how to use imbalances, some things I've never really seen before, so it's definitely kind of uncharted territory. But if you think any of this kind of information would be useful in your own personal trading, this indicator is available. Link in the description. There's obviously only so much information that I can put in this one video. I highly recommend checking out more of my live trading videos. I'll be using this indicator more and more in my live trading, so there will be more and more examples of how I'm using it in my own personal trading in the live markets. So stay tuned for that in the future. I appreciate you taking the time to tune in. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. I wish you best of luck in your trading. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.